What's going on, Suwannee River Paddlers? All right, this is going to be my 40-day and a wake-up to get to where we got to go update. I'm going to share here in a second. I think I given the wrong address inadvertently for American Canoe Adventures, and that's where the most of us will be meeting up on the morning of the 11th. Expectations is please get there by 7:30 a.m. I know a lot of us are traveling. You know, I've got an hour and a half travel. We got a caravan people going up from where I'm at. We got people coming from all different areas. So plan accordingly. I'm going to bring up another screen here in a second so that way you can see the phone number for American Canoe Adventures if you need to call them for something. I'm going to be sending out emails today to everyone to ask the pertinent questions that I normally ask everyone every year that come down. If you're going to rent from American Canoe Adventures, what you need. He only has limited tandem kayaks. I know one's already accounted for in our group. And I'm not sure if he still has 3. I think he's down to 2 unless he's purchasing more for the year. But he has plenty of single-seated kayaks and plenty of canoes. No matter what vessel you get, whether it's a tandem, whether it's a canoe or a single kayak, it's the same price for the daily rate, which should stand. It's at $25 a day plus tax. So you're looking at $100 plus tax for the 4 days that we're out on the river. I'm going to go ahead and try and get this screen up here for you in a second. No, we want to get it bigger than that, don't we? Here we go. All right, 1610 Bridge Street, White Springs, Florida is the location for American Canoe Adventures. That's where we will all meet on the 11th. That day, I expect if you could all be there for no later than 7:30, because then we still have to logistically get the vans all packed up with our gear, get all the canoe trailers and kayaks and all that loaded onto trailers, and we got to get down to the river. Once we get to the river, we will have a quick meeting just to kind of go over what's expected when we go down the river. This is a Sunday paddle. We're there to have a good time and enjoy, be with friends, Mother Nature, the history of the river. And we'll go over a little bit more here in a second, but make sure that you write down the information that's down here. You can pause the video. You can call American Canoe Adventures. Unfortunately, John and his family have COVID this week. I called them this morning just to give them a heads up for the head count, where we're going to be so far. That number may go up by a few, or at least 7 to 10 at max. We'll go up a little bit more, but right now we're kind of sitting at 22. Good safe number, 32, perfect number. All right, write the information that's down here, and if you need to call them, he's probably going to ask you to call back, because I did call him this morning, and they said they weren't feeling well. The whole family has COVID. I hope they get better really fast. But phone number if you need it, and then if you have any questions for him, go ahead, and his name is John, American Canoe Adventures. Most likely he answers the phone. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this screen. Let's get back up here. All right. So want to go over a little bit more information, and I've already put the pack list in the Facebook page, the Suwannee River trip page. You can refer back to that. This will be on there, and that will have your necessities. You can bring more than that. Just again, reminder that night 1, you don't need a tent. Night 2, it's required to have a tent. I don't ask that you pack it down, because I'm going to have 2 canoes. I'm going to have gear in mine, of course, because I have to cook and feed you guys along the way. And I'm going to have a secondary canoe tied to the back of my canoe. I call that the mule canoe, which I'll take extra gear from everybody else and put it in there. And I will try and take everything, so make sure you be thoughtful of that. We don't need to pack 2 suitcases worth of stuff. It's just not going to work. Pack the essentials, like I said, in the comments below. I will try and stick that list in again, and also on the Suwannee River trip page on Facebook, you're going to find the essential pack list. I wouldn't go much more than that, because then that means you're going to have too much gear coming down the river, and you don't want to do that, because then it's not fun when we get off the river to try and bring everything up to bring it back down. I will have trash bags, big lawn bags to tie everybody's gear in that is not in waterproof bags. So you don't have to worry about that. If you don't have waterproof bags, you don't have to go out and buy a ton of them, because guess what? Trash bags work just as well, and you just tie them up. You get there, you keep everything in there, you untie it, take your gear out that you're using for the day, repack that bag up and retie it off, and your gear stays safe. One of the things that I suggest with the plastic bags is that you put your sleeping materials in a plastic bag if you don't have a dry bag, because nothing worse than paddling down a river that is water. Most likely water will get at your feet, water can get into your craft, and for whatever reason, if there's a splash and I have your stuff in the mule canoe, there's a chance that I can get wet. So I will make sure that there's enough bags for everybody to waterproof anything and everything. I will also have paracord and different stuff to tie down your gear. That essential gear that you want on your craft for the day. If it's a small cooler for cold drinks, cold beer, I will have a huge cooler that's in the canoe that will be loaded down, most likely with Bud Light. But if you have something else that you want cold that we can fit in there, we'll put it in there. But on day one, we'll have 2 days worth of adult beverages, because we spend the first day going down to a riverside camp, and then the second day the same thing. So there's no access to anything for the first pretty much 2 days that we paddle until we get to the music park. Once we get to the music park, then once we get everything up, then you'll have access to a store and everything that's at the music park campsite. Everything's there at the park local, so you can walk up, buy snack foods if you want different snack foods. We're going to re-up on adult beverages, etc. So keep that in mind. Also on night 2 is when we're going to have to utilize the tents. So you need to make sure that you have a tent that's in workable condition. I have had someone in the past that has brought a tent, thought that the tent was fine, come to find out it's full of holes and tears and all that from someone else using it. So we had to scramble to have another tent somehow brought out to us, and that was kind of a little bit of a tough go because the land fitter, or John and American Canoe, was kind of busy, but we did get everything taken care of. So make sure you inspect your gear. Number one, make sure that everything is up to camping standards, and that you have everything, or a pack list. And as you pack that morning, go through your checklist, make sure you have everything the day before, the morning of, as you're loading everything up. We've had people get out there that didn't have essentials that they needed and or wanted, so just make sure that list is key. It'll help you not forget anything. All right, again, I want to talk about well, that eluded me. I guess we won't talk about that. No worries there. So 4 days, 3 nights, average temp 72 to 75, night temps fall anywhere from, upper 60s, sometimes to the lower 30s. And we don't want to see those cold nights. Again, I'll say dress in layers. Make sure you bring a winter hat. And when I say winter hat, the beanie or whatever, you want that on your head at night, because if it gets into even the lower 40s all night in a sleeping bag, what's the one thing that sticks out, unless you're in a mummy bag, is going to be your head. And where do we lose most of our heat? Well, we lose it out of our head. So make sure that you have a nice winter hat to go to sleep in, or, if you get a mummy bag, get yourself in there. If you're like me, I actually bring 2 sleeping bags rated for 40. So what I do is, if it is a warmer night, I'll just put one down on top of my sleeping pad and sleep in one bag. But if the temperatures drop and it's going to be a little on the cooler side, I actually take one sleeping bag, put it inside the other sleeping bag, and I am good to go. Just make sure that it's not a big bulky sleeping bag, because then if you take 2 of those and it's one of those ones that's big down, and then, it's rated for like -20, that's a little tough, because you're taking up a lot of space just for the sleeping bags. Pillows, I usually use small camp pillows, or I'll take a bunch of clothes and I'll take a shirt, tie off the sleeves, stuff the other clothes in there, and that is my pillow. But you can do either that way, or you can get yourself a little air pillow, whatever you got. I just don't suggest bringing a full-size bed pillow. I've seen that happen. That is another common thing, that they do roll up, and sometimes I show them that they roll up nice and tight, and I would tie them in paracord, and 90% of the time they fluff out at night. We need them, and we tie them back it up again. All right, I don't have too much more of that. I'm going to put a lot of stuff down in the comments, which should be the essential pack list. Just wanted to get clarity that I gave the wrong location to begin. I think I did it 1679. It's 10610 Bridge Street, 10 1610. Wow. I've had a kind of a long night and a long day at work today. So that is the location here. And then, of course, if you need to call John, the number's there. If you need, my phone number will be down in the comments. You can always message me. You can message me on the Suwannee River Trips page. And forgive me for bumbling over my words. I am overtired. It was a cold day, even here in Florida. I think we're in the upper 30s tomorrow. Anywhere from 27 degrees to the lower 30s. So even Florida gets cold, believe it or not. So for my Massachusetts friends and family that are coming down in March, don't worry about it. We won't be living in that zone anymore. We'll be back to kind of our spring weather. Looking forward to this year's paddlers. Got a lot of return people. Got some new people this year. Some new faces. Going to meet a lot of new friends. And usually there's a lot of other people on the river along the way. So if you have any questions for me, like I said, down below, look for my phone number, message me here, and let's make sure that we get squared up. Everybody needs to get paid up by mid-month of February, so we're roughly 16 days away from that, where everybody should kind of be booked and ready to go, have accurate numbers, and then I can start getting everything rolling, make sure the reservations are in for the music park, because they usually give me a little kickback if I try and do it last minute, so I have to have that reservation in, which means it's paid up front. So that's why the payment has to be in. And that's why I say make sure, because I have a cancellation window with them where they don't charge back to me. If you guys are going to cancel, do it as soon as possible, because if not, you're actually costing me money. I don't make money off this trip, believe it or not. It's every dime is accounted for. I do the math on it, the food, the camping site location, the outfitter bringing us, shuttling us down, picking us up. That's why I charge everybody $75. It used to be cheaper, and I apologize. COVID has changed a lot of stuff for us, made a lot of stuff go up, and I apologize for that. The only charge, again, that you'll see separately is going to be with American Canoe Adventures for rental of their equipment. If you don't have your own kayak, canoe, then you have to pay them for that. If you do have your own kayak or canoe, there is no charge on that. The only charge is a $75 charge for everything that I do for you guys. So it costs you $75 per person if you have your own vessel that you bring with you. They don't charge you to bring it down to the river. So that will be your only cost. So, but if you're renting, $75 my cost, and then $25 per day plus tax for a rental from American Canoe Adventures. All right. BJ Cope saying, hey, look forward to seeing you, Suwannee River Paddlers. We are 40 days and a travel day. Look forward to seeing y'all. Thank you.